Just a few safety notes before we head on out. Please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times and stay fully seated for the entire safari. That includes any lap sitters. Anyone in a lap needs to remain fully seated in the same lap for the entire ride. So please do not play musical chairs, hot potato, or hold anybody up like Simba. If you have any loose articles, especially cell phones or cameras, hold tight to those as well, because if anything falls out of my truck on the reserve, I cannot stop to pick it up. I can get someone out there to pick it up for you, but our rhinos like to take selfies, so I can't promise it's coming back in the same condition you dropped it in. We are going to wait here for our clearance to enter the reserve. You are going to be able to take pictures of everything you see out there. Just remember again, hold tight to anything you're taking pictures with, and make sure you've got those devices out and ready. These are wild, free-roaming animals. I'm not going to be able to stop for all of them, and they sure won't stop for me. These are these animals' homes, and we are here as their guests, not the other way around. So I ask that we be respectful of these homes. Please don't whistle, call out, or make any noises at these animals. A lot of them have very sensitive hearing, and for your safety as well as theirs, we definitely don't want to spook them. And with all of that in mind, welcome to the Little Aturi Forest, and meet the okapi over here on the right.
What is that?
The okapi has those beautiful stripes on its legs that make a lot of people think they might be related to the zebra, but they are actually the only close relatives to the giraffe. Those stripes are going to provide the okapi with camouflage, and camouflage is most of the animals here in the forest's primary method of defense. Over here, on the left-hand side, those very tall black and white birds are called saddle-billed storks. Those two are a mated pair. Saddle-billed storks are generally very solitary birds, but they mate for life.
I see rhino.
Walking around over here is a black rhinoceros. The black rhino is the smallest of the African rhinos. Adults generally weigh around 3,000 pounds. Over here we're going to see two different kinds of antelopes. Darker brown antelopes with horns called bongos, and lighter brown antelopes without horns called the greater kudu. And none of these greater kudu have horns, which is how I know they are female. Female kudu do not have any horns at all. Males will have these long spiraling horns that will get to be 6 feet across.
Adi, we are going on a rope.
We're out of the forest,
chain rope,
and we're on our way to the Safi River, which is going to be home to animals that spend a lot of time in and around the water. So that's where we're going to be keeping an eye out over here. Now, the water in the river is very important to the animals who live here, not just for drinking, but because it provides an extra layer of protection from the sun and from predators. Let's see what we can find. Looks like there's a bloat of hippos behind the island over there.
Ooh, hippos! Hungry hippos!
The Nile Hippopotamus will spend pretty much its entire day in the water to protect its sensitive skin from the sun. And they are capable of holding their breath up to 8 minutes at a time. Hippos are considered to be among the largest and most dangerous land animals in the entire world. They can frequently weigh 5,500 pounds, and they have the strongest bite force out of any animal on the planet. The ancient Egyptians who lived on the Nile feared and respected the hippo just as much as the crocodile.
Oh my
Now, this bridge is going to be
god!
a very important place for everyone to stay fully and completely seated as we
Let
are
me
passing
see.
directly over the crocodile's habitat.
There are 3. Oh my, Ali! Nearby!
The Nile crocodile is the largest of the crocodilian species. They can get to be 16 to 20 feet long,
What?
which is as long as
No,
a
they are
giraffe
real. We
is
are in a real safari.
We're headed out of the Safi River. We're making our way to the largest area of the reserve, the Savannah. The Savannah is going to be home to some of Africa's most recognizable animals. But before we see any animals, I'll introduce you to another very important part of the ecosystem, the Baobab Tree over here on the right.
Adi, look. Baobab
It
Tree.
doesn't look very healthy, but actually the Baobab tree just goes without leaves for 9 months out of the year.
God.
And it does that to conserve water. They're very good at
Adi.
conserving water. They can hold
Pore jabe
hundreds
tumi.
and thousands of gallons in
আবার
their
দেখো
trunk,
আমরা
which is really
rope,
useful to the
chain
animals
rope-এর
on the
উপর দিয়ে
Savannah
যাচ্ছি।
during droughts. And for that, the Baobab tree is also known as the tree of life. Welcome onto the Savannah. Savannah is home to some of Africa's most recognizable animals, as I mentioned, but the animals around here are almost all grazers. I mean, they get their food mainly from the ground because the Savannah is a grassland, and they're also going to stick together in very large groups. It's a very open area. There aren't nearly as many bushes and trees to hide in as the animals in the forest have, so they can't rely on camouflage as a defense mechanism. So instead, the name of the game out here is safety in numbers. But some of these animals are predators. Take a look at the top of the den
Adi,
over there.
tiger.
Spotted hyenas.
Hyenas. ওই যে রক্সের উপরে
Hyenas are very interesting animals because they do look a little bit like dogs.
ওই রক্সের
And they do
উপরে
look a little bit like cats, but they're actually not related to either of them.
What's a tiger?
It's not tiger, this is hyena.
Hyenas are part of their very own animal family. Hyenidae. It's one of the smallest families in the entire animal kingdom. It only includes about 5 different species.
I saw an animal poop. Also,
We're going to pass a bunch of termite mounds around here.
Yeah.
These large,
That's a
rust-colored,
termite mound.
smokestack-shaped
Look,
structures.
Turn my down.
Well, the mounds are made of mud,
What
dung,
more?
and the
এদিকে অনেক
termite
পোকা, ওর মধ্যে অনেক
saliva.
পোকা।
And then when they dry in the sun,
Termites are
they'll become
bugs.
as hard as concrete. And you can see some of them are a little worn down. That's because the animals out here will use them as scratching posts. The termites will continue to build them higher and higher. Some of the tallest termite mounds we know of are as tall as an elephant. I'm guessing a lot of the animals out on the savannah have started to move to this side of the hills. Let's see what we can find over this way. I see some wildebeest. They're all going to be on the far side of the hill, but oh, there they are, the tower of giraffes. We're going to get a lovely view of them as we pass.
দূরে
A group of giraffes is called a tower, referring to their height, of course. They are the tallest animals in the entire world. As I mentioned, they can get to be 16 to 20 feet.
হুম
Now, they eat from the trees, unlike everybody else around here, because they're the only ones who can reach. So they've got no competition for that food source, and they take advantage of that, eating for 20 hours a day and only sleeping for 30 minutes. They don't particularly need to sleep all that much. If all they're doing is eating from grass, they're not expending all that much energy. And plus, they need to stay alert. The giraffes are actually used by a lot of the animals out here
giraffe?
as a sort of an alert
এদিকে মাথাটা
system.
বার করো, মাথাটা বার করো।
The animals out here will keep an eye out on the giraffes because they have a much higher vantage point and they can see danger coming from further away.
বাবা কতগুলো আদি।
So when a giraffe starts running, everybody else does too.
Lots and lots of giraffes. Let me count. 1, 2, 3,
we
4,
are gonna
5.
Get up close and
Oh my
personal with
God,
some
look what
Patterson's
he's doing.
Eland over here
Adi, see
as
what he's
well.
doing. He's bending his neck all the way to the back.
That one?
Oh, and
Yeah.
can you guys see the little short stack over there? It just got nuzzled. That's a 9-month-old giraffe. A little baby. He's a little over, denied. He's a little over 7 feet tall. Baby giraffes are generally born at around 6 feet, which is usually only the height of their mom's legs. When they're born, they do have a bit of a drop to the ground because giraffes will give birth standing up. Now, there are some animals in the road up ahead, so we are going to be hanging out for a little bit. Let's talk about the Patterson's Eland over here on the right.
Adi, look, there's another animal. I don't know
Well,
what
this
that is.
guy up here, who's still on the hill, not the one across the road, he's our male. His name is Ben, and he is one of my favorite animals out on the entire savannah.
Is he
I just really
Wildebeest?
love this guy. You know how you see how he's got grass tangled up in his horns here? Now, some people are like, oh yeah, that's camouflage. It's not camouflage. This is cosmetic. He does it on purpose because he thinks it makes him look pretty to impress the ladies. The Patterson's Eland is the largest species of antelope in Africa. They are in the same family as the bongos and the kudu. And most antelopes, this isn't quite a defining trait because not all antelopes are really good jumpers, but most of them are. And the Patterson's Eland, despite their size, can jump 6 feet in the air from a standing position. It's pretty impressive,
Hey,
old
it looks
man.
like this is a coconut tree. This, that.
They're not. I don't see red balls.
Oh, if I shared Ben's name, I must
See, that
share
is-
the
that
baby.
is a coconut
This guy
tree,
over
see.
here is Humphrey. Humphrey the giraffe.
Where's Humphrey?
Looks like we're gonna start being able to get back on the
Is that the baby
move.
one?
Bye, Humphrey. See you later. Bye, Ben. We're gonna get to see a bunch of wildebeest too. Now, when I talked about safety in numbers, the wildebeest are winning because in the wild, a herd of wildebeest can number up to 1.5 million. They'll
I think
stay in
these are
those
coconut
groups
trees, I'm
as they
sure.
migrate about 1,000 miles every year.
These
Now
are
we got
coconut
to move.
trees.
We move like a few feet. The animals are probably back in the
Maybe
road.
they're
I'm not
ripe.
surprised.
They didn't throw their fruit yet.
That's the fun thing about